On today's show, the morning after an absolute ass whooping of the Trailblazers on national television, it's got me thinking, are the Phoenix Suns not actually a defensive-minded team? Are they actually an offensive-minded team? I know that sounds crazy, but let's discuss on this edition of Locked On Phoenix Suns.
You are Locked On Suns, your daily Phoenix Suns podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Up and welcome back into Locked On Phoenix Suns. I'm your host, Benjamin Garcia, host of The Ben Garcia Show, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 a.m. on YouTube, where we discuss all things Arizona sports, including the Phoenix Suns, and a credentialed Phoenix Suns media member covering your team 365 days out of the year. That's why we call it your team every day here at the Locked On Podcast Network, the number one sports podcast network on planet Earth. That is a statistic, not just some crazy exaggeration. Wherever you may be listening, however you may be listening, thank you for making myself and Locked On Phoenix Suns a part of your day. Remember, Locked On Phoenix Suns is free and available on all platforms, including YouTube. So hit that follow or subscribe button to do what thousands of Suns fans have already done. Become an everyday and get locked on the Phoenix Suns right here each and every day. Reminder, today's episode is brought to you by the lovely folks over at FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and you'll get $300 in bonus bets when you place $5 on your first bet. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. If your bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets. Wow. I feel like I've said that a lot this year, and for all the right reasons and none of the wrong reasons for this Suns team like we were doing last season. Because the Phoenix Suns aren't just winning games, they're dominating teams. 1,000% throttling the other opponent. And I was the one that mentioned this. I mean, again, like it's a statistic that, I've just been saying before everyone else, but people have started to kind of catch on with it. This is per Andrew Leasis, who, a lot of people like on social media, fan account, seems like a very, nice dude. I don't know him, but he put out this tweet. I think he follows me on social media too. And I follow him as well. So I saw this as well. Suns' largest leads in their last 7 wins. Against the Spurs, 31 points. Against the Clippers, 25 points. Clippers, 18 points. Pelicans, 32 points. Mavericks, 18 points. Pacers, 46 points. Blazers, 25 points. Not to mention, they were up 22 points in the fourth quarter against the Atlanta Hawks. The Suns, in their last, if I'm not mistaken, I didn't look at this because the number is getting so big now that I haven't been able to keep track up with it. But this is what I've been saying over the last, 2 weeks now. And I've been adding to it each day. If I'm not mistaken, it's either 9 or 10 games. But regardless, this is true. In the Suns' last 10 games, they have been up in 9 of them at least 18 points. At least 18 points against teams like the Clippers, who everyone told me was going to be really good this year, besides me, who told you guys I didn't believe in that team from the get-go, a team of Bradley Beal, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden. Yeah, what could go wrong? Those teams are always so viable when being led by those guys. But the Suns are opening up an ass whooping against them. They beat up on the Spurs, and they are throttling teams. They are throttling them. And how many times did I tell you, well, hey, listen, it's a nice little stretch. And the biggest thing of this is like, I didn't really care if it was a fluke, because what I was telling you guys is like, who cares if it was a fluke? Who cares if the Suns shot 60% from the Spurs? I don't care. They won. It doesn't matter to me that it happened. It matters to me against the Hawks when they get up 22 points and lose. Because I'm like, yeah, maybe it was a fluke that the Suns were up that much. That actually doesn't feel all that true right now. But let's say that was. I don't care, because they normally win those games. They lose that game. That's when I start to think, like, damn it. Like, you shot, 50-something% from the field. You went on multiple runs in that game. That's probably not going to happen super often. Maybe it actually is. But in the moment, I'm saying to myself, you got to win that game. It's like a playoff series, right? When, a team that's undermanned or the underdog has a unsung player that drops 45 points in a game, and the other team says, well, that's not going to happen again. Well, it doesn't matter, because it did happen. how many times does it have to happen for the Phoenix Suns for us to just say, all right, well, bleep it. Maybe they're just a really good offensive team. Like, F it, right? Maybe they're just a really good offensive team. Because I know they're a good defensive team. The Suns had 19 steals last night. That's the most steals in a game. That is the most steals in a game than any team has had in a game all season. There's been a lot of games played this season. The Suns have the most of them. And yet, statistically speaking, they're a better offensive team than they are a defensive team. What do I mean by that? Well, I put this out on social media. It's like what inspired this whole episode, because I put out last night. Let me back up a little bit. I put out last night on social media because I genuinely was. I mean, like, let's see what time this was at. This was at 11:07 p.m. For those that don't know, maybe if my wife's watching this, she'll laugh. I go to sleep at like 10. Like, I'm not a night person. I'm not a morning person. I like sleep person. Even though I'm not very good at it. But I tweeted this last night because I was just delusional at this point at 11:07 p.m., which is even funnier because I recorded Locked On Suns after this, so I must have been super delusional at that point. But I said, I don't even know what to say anymore. Maybe the Suns are just an elite offensive team. How many games do they need to be up 20-plus points for us to say, I don't know, maybe they're just a really good offensive team too? Meaning, I'm not saying that they're a bad defensive team at all. That's not me. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying maybe they're a better offensive team. Because right now, per NBA.com, and I'm not a huge statistics guy. I'm more interested in the opinion side of it, what I see, and then back that up with statistic. But if I'm going to make a claim as so big and that I'm not even sure if I believe that the Suns might be a better offensive team than they are defensive team, here's a statistic from NBA.com. The Phoenix Suns currently rank 8th in offensive rating. And you're like, oh, cool. That's awesome. It's great. Someone said to me last night, you always say when you're right. And you know what? That is kind of fair. Recently, I feel like I've been gloating a little bit. So that should be put in check. Well, here you go. Guy in the comment section who I appreciate for being here. I was wrong? ? One of my bold predictions before the NBA season was that the Suns would be a top 10 defensive team. And then, of course, that they would be led face first, head first, defensively. Well, I'm wrong. Guy in the comment section, you were right. I was wrong. Well, I don't know if you're right, but I was definitely wrong. The Suns rank 11th in defensive rating. Statistically speaking, they're a better team on offense than they are on defense. And in the last 2 games, they haven't had Grayson. Screw that. Last 3 games, Grayson Allen went out early. Last 3 games, they haven't had Grayson Allen on there. In the last 2 games, they haven't had Grayson Allen at all. They've had Jalen Green for 5 quarters. It doesn't make any sense. Guys, I'm genuinely confused because I can't do this revisionist history thing of, well, maybe the Suns were always going to be a good maybe the Suns were always going to be a good offensive team as he frantically goes to the box score last night to see everything. But like nothing jumps out of the page of like an ordinary. In fact, last night, I did think the Suns were a better offensive team than they were defensively. They shot 35% from 3. They shot 48% from the field. Yes, did they have 19 steals last night to the Trailblazers 7? That's a pretty good defensive statistic. They forced 20 turnovers last night, only had 21 points off them. So what does that tell you? The Suns are not a great team when forcing turnovers and forcing points off those turnovers. They haven't been great at that all year. We've talked about that ad nauseum multiple times. Here's another thing per synergy. Like, again, I got to come at you guys with the statistics. If I'm going to make a claim as wild as this, the Suns are the 7th ranked team in the half-court offense. Per synergy, Nuggets, Lakers. Damn, Lakers are really good. A lot of that has to do with Luka. Nuggets, and I was wrong on that too. I thought the Lakers are going to be terrible this year. Nuggets, Lakers, Timberwolves, Bucks, Raptors, Heat, Suns. Points per possession in the half court, as I grab that, the Suns are, as I flip it around here, the Suns are 7th in points per possession this season in the half court. So yeah, like defensively, they are a really stout team and they're forcing turnovers. But it's not like they're getting out in transition and getting free points in turnovers. Like they are, but not at like an elite clip. What they're doing is they're forcing turnovers, getting in their half-court offense, and just hitting open buckets. They're hitting contested buckets. Like Jordan Goodwin, when he showed up in Phoenix 2 years ago, was not an offensive player, much less this year, not an offensive player when he showed up. I was the person that said the Suns got enough offense in Devin Booker, Dylan Brooks, and Colin Gillespie offensive. Like they don't need Jared Butler's offense. They need Jordan Goodwin's defense and be a pest defensively. Well, I don't know. Jordan Goodwin's been a pretty damn good offensive player this year. So like, again, I'm being a little tongue in cheek here. I'm getting a little creative on the show today because it's an off day. This is for Thursday's show. By the next time we talk, after this, Suns will have a game against the Timberwolves. We'll talk about that. But like, I thought about it and I'm saying to myself, I don't believe it. Like you've gotten to this at 11 and 30 minutes. Like I don't believe it. I still think the Suns are a better defensive team than they are offensive. This is why statistics lie all the time. Watch the game. Don't be a box score watcher. Watch the game, take the statistics, put it together. You'll get the right answer almost every time. But it's just interesting. Offensively, the Suns have been freaking awesome this year. Defensively, they've been really good too. But statistically speaking, they've been better offensively. Which one are they? Are they an offensive juggernaut? Or are they a defensive juggernaut? I don't know. And it gets me to this. Are the Suns just not just better than we thought in the preseason? That is clearly true. Are they just way better? Like, are they not like, I'm not going to raise the expectations even more than they already are in the next segment. But I'm going to tempt you to do so. Let's talk about that next. Today's episode is brought to you by the lovely, lovely folks over at Quo, formerly of Open Phone. Let's talk about something every business owner knows too well. Missed calls when a customer tries to reach you and you can't get through. That's money slipping away. Quo, spelled Quo, is the smarter way to run your business communications so you never miss an opportunity. Quo is the #1 business phone system built for 2025, not 1995. It's simple, modern, and designed to help you communicate faster, look more professional, and stay connected wherever you're working. I love that Quo works right from an app on your phone or computer. No devices, no clunky landlines. Your whole team can share one number and collaborate on calls and texts like a shared inbox, which means customers get help faster. The built-in AI is a game changer. It logs your calls, writes summaries, and even sets up follow-ups automatically. Try Quo for free at quo.com/LockedOnNBA. That's QUO.com/LockedOnNBA. And yes, you can even keep your existing number. Quo, no missed calls, no missed customers. Today's episode is also brought to you by Rougient. Let's be real, making excuses doesn't solve anything. We've all heard them before. It's just stress, I'm tired, or it happens to everyone sometimes. But when it comes to performance, sometimes your body just needs a little extra support, and that's where Rougient comes in. Rougient.com offers fact-acting, doctor-prescribed treatments for ED designed to help you stop making excuses and start making moves. Rougient makes it easy to get started. You just get connected with a board-certified doctor, 100% online, no awkward waiting rooms, no in-person appointments. If prescribed, your treatment ships discreetly straight to your door. Visit rugiet.com/LockedOnNBA to get 15% off your first order. That's rugiet.com/LockedOnNBA. And don't forget to use our code LockedOnNBA so they know we sent you. Rougient, stop making excuses and start making moves. Okay. So I don't want to, let me take a sip of the morning coffee really quickly. I don't want to raise expectations higher than they already are for the Phoenix Suns, because I don't agree with the notion of just enjoy the ride. Just enjoy the ride. I'm good. I like winning. And so I don't operate that way. If other Suns fans are like, I'm done putting expectations, I just want a stress-free season, see me next year, like, I don't think it's wrong either. But I'm a goal-oriented person, meaning if I'm not reaching my goals, whether it's on Locked On Suns, Ben Garcia show, wherever it is, social media, I like it physically pains me because I need to reach my goals. It's probably not great for my health, but it is what it is. Like, people might think I'm crazy. I don't know if there's a lot of people that work harder than me. And I think there's a lot of people that would attest to that for me. And so I put expectations on every team, whether it's the Diamondbacks, the Cardinals, the ASU, or the Suns. And so at the beginning of the season, the Suns, for me, their expectations was the 9 seed in the play-in, meaning they're playing at home in the first play-in game, but they've got to win 2 games to get into the tournament, or to get into, I guess it is a tournament, but to get into the playoffs. Everyone's, and I do think everyone, like, for large part, I think Suns fans have been pretty normal about what's been going on with the Phoenix Suns this season, and like been very fair about everything. But people are talking about this stretch going into Christmas, and I'm not that concerned about it. And what I mean by that is, like, I don't think the Suns are going to go, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I don't think the Suns are going to go 8-4. But do I think the Suns can go 6-6 through this stretch? Where I think a lot of people are like, oh, they're going to win 4 games. I think it's more likely the Suns finish, what is it? It's 12 games, 8-4 over the stretch than 4-8. Now, there's a happy medium to that, 6-6, whatever that looks like. Minnesota this weekend doesn't scare me. I mean, forget about this, right, for a second. Like, let's go to these standings, which we kind of looked at briefly last night. Right now, and that's all we can judge off of. Right now, holy cow. I forget the Thunder have only lost 1 game this season. That is freaking insane. Right now, the Phoenix Suns. How many teams in the Western Conference can you actually say, oh, yeah, they're better than the Suns? They're definitely better than the Suns. Just through the first 15 games of the season, whatever every team has played, like the Nuggets have played 13 right now. How many teams in the Western Conference can you say they're definitely better than? I'll give you Houston. I'll give you Denver. I'll give you Oklahoma City. Suns already beat the Spurs. The Minnesota Timberwolves had just as easy of a time against easier opponents than the Suns have, and they're 9-5. And I don't see anyone else like going after the Minnesota Timberwolves. And I look at this upcoming stretch for the Suns, and I say to myself, none of these teams really scare me. And the Suns are going to get some breaks. There are some must-win games in here. Like Minnesota on Friday, it doesn't feel like a must-win game. It doesn't feel like those either-or games, but like, I'll take the Suns to win that game on Friday. The San Antonio Spurs, who are going to be without Stephon Castle and Victor Wembanyama. That's a must-win game. You've got Houston on, December 5th. Minnesota again on the road. I think there are some wins in here. Yeah, is there scheduled losses against Denver and against Houston and for sure against, Oklahoma City and maybe Houston again? Yeah, maybe. But I don't think it's doom and gloom for the Suns coming up in this next 12-game stretch. I think it's very likely the Suns come out of this with an over 500 record. At minimum, they come out of it 6-6. And so if that's the case for me, when do we raise expectations for the Suns? Let's say they go 8-4 over this next 12. Expectations change for me. Maybe not for you. But at what point, if they keep up this mark of like a top 10 offensive and defensive team, we can't just hold them to the play-in consistently. We can't just say, oh, well, they're a play-in team because that's how I feel. These next 12, 13 games are going to say a lot about the Phoenix Suns season. And it's going to say one of two things. One, there's actually three different things. And the third option is like oh crap, maybe they're a fringe play-in team or not playoff team at all. And that's if like they go 2-10. And I just don't foresee that. This team's too good defensively and they're too good offensively for me to think that they're just going to go 2-10 over their next 12. Here's the other thing I'd say. Here's the second one. Suns' expectations get cemented of, they're a play-in team. They're somewhere between 7 and 10. They're somewhere between there because they played these teams. They had an under 500 record. They won the games they should have won, but they lost the games that maybe we thought they could have stole. And then there's the last option, the last outcome of this, which is, what if they go 8-4? What if they do? What if they come out of this 7-5? Expectations might get raised. Right now, you can't convince me that the Timberwolves are better than the Suns. Right now, you can't convince me that the Los Angeles Lakers are definitely better than the Phoenix Suns right now. And so there is a world where if the Suns come out of this, not to mention the San Antonio Spurs going to be without Castle for 2 weeks and Victor Wembanyama for likely a month, you can't convince me that if the Suns go 8-4 in this next gauntlet of games, that the expectations don't rise and you're like, okay, they're a playoff team now. Figure it out. Figure out how to get the 6th seed. And then like after that, then like, again, playing with house money here. I'm not raising expectations to make everyone more sad. I am raising expectations so you know, look at how good the Phoenix Suns season went. Again, really good place to be right now. I have some other thoughts on last night's game. Some of it on Sweet Baby Oso Ighodaro, who I missed last night because we went long. So let's talk about that and much more next. Today's episode is brought to you by Skims. When Skims announced they're making underwear for men, the reaction most sense. The reaction made perfect sense. People have been talking about Skims comfort for years. Most guys, though stick to whatever they've been buying since college, the same fits, the same waistbands, the roll, and a whole lot of settling. Skims Men's changes that. One upgrade, and it's obvious why everyone's been talking. But once I tried Skims Men's underwear, I got the hype immediately. I literally am wearing Skims underwear right now. My wife thinks it's hilarious when I always flex my Skims underwear to her. I'll like flash the band and I'm like, look at me, I've got Skims underwear on. The design, they're designed to feel good, fit right, and actually stay put. No slipping, that is true. No sagging, that is true. No adjusting, 100% true. Just genuinely great under that makes you feel confident and comfortable. And honestly, guys, makes you feel like you're not wearing anything at all. What stood out right away for me was the fit and the fabric. It's soft, supportive, and comfortable, and like truly, like honestly, like the only thing that I'm like, is this a good thing? Is it like it's a great thing? I genuinely am like, am I wearing underwear right now? That's how comfortable they are. Shop Skims Men's now at skims.com. When you place your order, choose podcast in the post-purchase survey and select our show, Locked On Suns, from the drop down to know we sent you. The NBA is back. And today's episode is also brought to you by FanDuel. There's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you miss the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com and sign up and play with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. In the spirit of reacting to a comment last night that I was like, you always say you're right on things. Like, that's not always, I don't think that's always true. I think it's a little hyperbolic, but here's something that I think I'm just willing to be wrong about. The Suns offense has been the story of the day today, has been so elite, has been so lethal, that it just feels like everyone is fitting in like a glove. And even Oso Ighodaro, even sweet, sweet baby Oso Ighodaro, which, by the way, ever since, this is not me saying I'm right, this is just me saying I'm an idiot. Ever since Oso Ighodaro got the nickname from me, sweet baby Oso Ighodaro, which, by the way, all of you adding me on social media and DMing me, and there's a lot of you, just so we're clear, there's like over a dozen of you who have been adding me, sweet baby Oso Ighodaro, who have been sending me messages of young, sweet baby Oso Ighodaro with the picture of Tom Leander and Tom Chambers. I'm like, yes, this is what this community is for. Getting together and supporting a player by calling him sweet baby Oso Ighodaro. The Suns, and I'll get to sweet baby Oso Ighodaro in just a second, but the Suns offense has been so lethal, has been so good, and the defense as well. But it's got me thinking offensively. Again, this is where you guys are right. Maybe Jalen Green's just going to work. Maybe Jalen Green is just going to step in and fit like a glove for this team offensively. Because Colin Gillespie wasn't like this elite offensive player off the bench last year. This year he is. Jordan Goodwin has never been this good of a shooter in his career, and now he is. And if players like that are adjusting fine, and the infectious attitude and, one for all, not one for one type of team where everyone feels like everyone's kind of got to get theirs, but it comes organically, I think that's infectious. And I think Jalen Green is just going to fit in right away with this team. Why would I think to myself, Colin Gillespie, Jordan Goodwin are going to figure out in this offense, but not Jalen Green? A part of me was like, I'm never rooting for injury, ever. That's a terrible thing. But when Jalen Green went down, I was like, let's see what this offense looks extensively without Jalen Green. And now I'm like, let's see what this offense looks like when Jalen Green gets into the fold. Not only are the Suns the 8th team in offensive rating right now, they don't even have Jalen Green. When you add someone who can get to the rim, dribble drive, kick out, find someone open, Grayson Allen or a la Dylan Brooks, maybe that just adds another wrinkle to this offense. Forget me being worried about his efficiency. Who cares? Also, he's pretty efficient with the Suns when he was playing. So that was another epiphany that I had last night. Here's the other thing. Sweet baby Oso Ighodaro. What has been so true about the Suns, about Oso Ighodaro is this. When the Suns are playing with pace and playing confidently and playing off the jump defensively, Oso Ighodaro is a drastically different player. Last night, he was 6 for 7, 4 rebounds, 16 points. Wait a second. Oh my goodness gracious. My freaking computer just ducked out on me again. 14 points, 16 minutes. Apologies for that. Got that wrong. 3 offensive rebounds and 6 for 7 from the field. I will not stray from the fact that Oso Ighodaro is not a great player offensively. He's a good passer. He had a couple of good passes last night. One to Devin Booker that I can remember off the jump. Around the rim, that push shot when it's working. Again, an element to his game that adds something to it. That adds something to the Suns offense. But when they're pushing the pace and they're not so stagnant offensively with Oso, where he's kind of getting trapped down the lane and opposing teams are bullying him down low, instead, give him the ball. Let him run up the court with it a little bit. Let him, pass it out at the top of the key to Dylan Brooks or Devin Booker and see where it goes from there. But what I've seen from Oso is he's been playing really confident ball recently, and he's been like not even an average player, an above average player, where for most of the season he was terrible. And that's where the sweet baby Oso Ighodaro stuff came in. He's tries really hard. But sometimes I think he gets in his own way. He gets in his own head. And I haven't seen that the last couple of games. I've seen a player in Oso who's playing much more confidently, and it seems like the Suns are making a cognitive effort to get him the ball in transition, as well as make him a ball handler, bringing the ball up the court. And it's like, okay, maybe Oso's going to move up the ranks, and it's going to be Mark Williams, Oso, and then Nick Richards is just gone. Maybe you trade him. But like, he's one of the reasons over the past couple of games where Kamal Malawach isn't getting any playing time. So credit to Oso, man. Credit to sweet, sweet baby Oso Ighodaro. And you won't stop me from saying that nickname because I know half of you love it and half of you freaking hate it. Suns are playing well, man. Suns are playing well. They got a game coming up against the Minnesota Timberwolves. We'll have one more show before that game. And then reminder, we will have a show on Friday night post Suns Wolves to make up for the game that we missed on Sunday. Because you guys only got 4 episodes this week. I'm going to make sure you get 5. I was sick. That's on me. And my antibodies, they got to be better. But with that being said, Suns continuously playing well, going for win number 10 on Friday. We will have a post-game show there. For everyone in the comment section tuning in, appreciate you guys being here. You guys are freaking awesome and continuously make this dream of mine to talk sports a reality. And I will talk to you guys. When will I talk to you guys? Tomorrow on Thursday, pre-Suns Wolves. Sweet, sweet baby Oso Ighodaro, man. Sweet, sweet baby Oso.